Good evening, everyone. This is Steve Lookner with Right Side Broadcasting coming to you with a news alert. Wanted to update you about a story that's been kind of developing all day. Harvey Weinstein, the Hollywood mega producer, the mogul who was the co-founder of Miramax and also is one of the founders of Weinstein. Is it Weinstein Studios? Am I getting that right? See the details, you forget. The Weinstein Company in Hollywood, he has announced today he is taking a leave of absence from his company in the aftermath of a New York Times article which revealed that, first of all, a number of women have accused him of sexual harassment over the years. Also, the article says there have been a number of payments, I believe it's 8 payments, to Harvey Weinstein from these women who've been accused. And I see we have a black screen. So, guys, we're working. I see a black screen just popped up on the screen. Just so you know, we are working with YouTube on that. YouTube has been in touch with us today saying they're going to work on fixing it. So if you do see a black screen come up, please just stay with the broadcast. It'll only be there for a few seconds. It should be so. Anyways, to repeat, Harvey Weinstein said that he was going to take a leave of absence today after a New York Times article came out in which a number of women accused him of sexual harassment. We'll get to that in a moment. And also, it was revealed that he paid off a number of women in settlements regarding having to do settlements surrounding these sexual harassment claims. I believe settlements in which he didn't admit to any wrongdoing, but in which he settled with the women who had some of the women who had these claims against him. So we're going to talk a little bit about this story. I'd like to hear what you think about this story. You can write to me at @Lookner on Twitter, @LOOKNER, and let me know what you think about all of this. But I want to first get into the details of the actual story, the New York Times story that came out, just in case you missed that story. So this story here, this was the story that kind of got the ball rolling and started everything today. This was this New York Times story from this morning, and the headline says, decades of sexual harassment accusations against Harvey Weinstein. So let's just read a little bit of this story. Just give you, I'm not going to read the whole story because it's kind of long, but I want to just read you some of the beginning details so you get a feel for what the story says. Let's start at the beginning. It says, 2 decades ago, the Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein invited actress Ashley Judd to the Peninsula Beverly Hills Hotel for what the young actress expected to be a business breakfast meeting. Instead, he had her sent up to his room, where he appeared in a bathrobe and asked if he could give her a massage or she could watch him shower, she recalled in an interview. How do I get out of the room as fast as possible without alienating Harvey Weinstein? Miss Judd said she remembers thinking. In 2014, Mr. Weinstein invited Emily Nestor, who had worked just 1 day as a temporary employee, to the same hotel and made another offer. If she accepted his sexual advances, he would boost her career, according to accounts she provided to colleagues who sent them to Weinstein Company executives. The following year, once again at the Peninsula, a female assistant said Mr. Weinstein badgered her into giving him a massage while he was naked, leaving her crying and very distraught, wrote a colleague, Lauren O'Connor, in a searing memo asserting sexual harassment and other conduct by their boss. Continuing down a little bit, an investigation by the New York Times found previously undisclosed allegations against Mr. Weinstein stretching out over nearly 3 decades, documented through interviews with current and former employees and film industry workers, as well as legal records, emails, and internal documents from the business he has run, Miramax and the Weinstein Company. And here's the part about the settlements. During that time, after being confronted with allegations including sexual harassment and unwanted physical contact, Mr. Weinstein has reached at least 8 settlements with women, according to 2 company officials speaking on the condition of anonymity. Among the recipients, the Times found, were a young assistant in New York in 1990, an actress in 1997, an assistant in London in 1998, an Italian model in 2015, and Miss O'Connor shortly after, according to records and those familiar with the agreements. In a statement to the Times on Thursday afternoon, Mr. Weinstein said, "I appreciate the way I've behaved with colleagues in the past has caused a lot of pain, and I sincerely apologize for it. Though I'm trying to do better, I know I have a long way to go." He added that he was working with therapists and planning on to take a leave of absence to deal with this issue head on. So that was the story today. I believe when this story initially came out, I believe there wasn't even anything about the leave of absence. We'll get to that in a second. But basically what you can see is this story. It's this New York Times story that came out today. And it talks about, from interviews with women, it talks about a number of them accusing Harvey Weinstein of doing things, a lot of them involving a hotel room, where he invites them to a hotel room, and then when they get there, he says things like, "Can you watch me shower?" or "Give me a massage," or "Can I give you a massage?" or that kind of thing. So there's a lot of that. And another big thing in the a big charge the article makes is it says, according to a couple people who have worked at his companies, he has paid 8 settlements to women over the last couple of decades, or a few decades. And I don't know if it's just 8, it's just at least 8. Reached at least 8 settlements with women on these who have accused him of this kind of behavior. So anyways, that happened today. That article came out, and then a little while after that article came out, Harvey Weinstein released a statement. I want to read you his statement. And the statement's quite interesting. One very interesting aspect of the statement, it talks about how he's going to take a leave of absence. But at the end of the statement, you'll see he actually criticizes President Trump and also criticizes the NRA. So he came out with this statement to talk about how he's taking a leave of absence, but he brought into the statement criticism of President Trump and the NRA. So I want to show you his statement. Again, we're covering this story about the Harvey Weinstein sexual harassment allegations, and he says he's going to take a leave of absence today. Would like to hear what you have to say about this, so write to me on Twitter at Lookner, at Lookner. Thank you to the moderators in the chat room for moderating the chat. I see JC there, and whoever other moderators might be there now, and on the website too. So let's look at this Harvey Weinstein statement he made. This is Harvey Weinstein's statement he came out with this afternoon. I came of age in the 60s and 70s when all the rules about behavior in workplaces were different. That was the culture then. I have since learned it's not an excuse in the office or out of it to anyone. I realized some time ago that I needed to be a better person, and my interactions with the people I work with have changed. I appreciate the way I've behaved with colleagues in the past has caused a lot of pain, and I sincerely apologize for it. Though I'm trying to do better, I know I have a long way to go. That is my commitment. My journey now will be to learn about myself and conquer my demons. Over the last year, I've asked Lisa Bloom to tutor me, and she's put together a team of people. I've brought on therapists, and I plan to take a leave of absence from my company and to deal with this issue head on. I so respect all women and regret what happened. I hope that my actions will speak louder than words, and that one day we will all be able to earn their trust and sit down together with Lisa to learn more. Jay-Z wrote in 444, I'm not the man I thought I was, and I better be that man for my children. The same is true for me. I want a second chance in the community, but I know I've got work to do to earn it. I have goals that are now priorities. Trust me, this isn't an overnight process. I've been trying to do this for 10 years, and this is a wake-up call. I cannot be more remorseful about the people I hurt, and I plan to do it right by them. Do it right by all of them. Now, here's this last part of the, this last paragraph. I need to move up a little bit so you can see it. So let me just move this last paragraph up a little bit here. Okay, that should help. There we go. So here's the last paragraph. Now, the last paragraph, he's just apologized and said he's working on this and he's going to take a leave of absence. And here's the last paragraph to his apology post today. I am going to need a place to channel that anger, so I've decided I'm going to give the NRA my full attention. I hope Wayne LaPierre will enjoy his retirement party. I'm going to do it at the same place I had my bar mitzvah. I'm making a movie about our president. Perhaps we can make it a joint retirement party. 1 year ago, I began organizing a $5 million foundation to give scholarships to women directors at USC. While this might seem coincidental, it has been in the works for a year. It will be named after my mom, and I won't disappoint her. So, one interesting thing, as I pointed out about the statement, is it's it's a bunch of apologizing, and then at the end it starts criticizing the NRA and President Trump. Personally, I'm not entirely clear as to what that has to do with apologizing for the sexual harassment, but maybe you have some thoughts on this. So we've talked about how these allegations that came out against Harvey Weinstein. We've talked about his statement. We just read his statement here where he says he's going to take a leave of absence. I also want to talk about some pressure that's being put on Democratic politicians to refund his donations, because he's a big Democratic donor. Before I do that, though, I want to say a quick thank you to Trump Sword. Trump Sword made a donation of $20. Thank you, Trump Sword, and said, "I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign or domestic, so help me God, MAGA." Thank you, Trump Sword. We are viewer supported here. We rely on your donations to stay on the air. So if you enjoy our coverage at Right Side Broadcasting, hope you consider donating. You can donate by going to the YouTube chat room and clicking on the dollar sign at the bottom of the chat room. Or you can go to rsbn.tv/donate, rsbn.tv/donate. It is your donations that keep us on the air, and we really appreciate them. So let's talk now. I'm going to get to your comments in a second. Write to me if you have comments at Lookner on Twitter, at LOOKNER. I just want to show you a little more about this story about Democratic donors who are getting pressured to give back money. So this is a story from CNN Politics. Democrats pressured to return donations from Harvey Weinstein. Story says, Senator Patrick Leahy of Vermont plans to donate $5,600 in campaign contributions from Harvey Weinstein to charity after a New York Times report revealed multiple sexual harassment allegations against the filmmaker. The money is going to the Women's Fund at the Vermont Community Foundation, Leahy's campaign manager Carolyn Dwyer told CNN. A New York Times report to Thursday, which we just looked at, detailed several instances of alleged sexual harassment, including from actress Ashley Judd. Women have been talking about Harvey amongst ourselves for a long time, and it's simply beyond time to have the conversation publicly, Judd said, according to the Times. In the wake of the report, the Republican National Committee released a statement calling on Democrats in the DNC to return Harvey Weinstein's donations. During 3 decades worth of sexual harassment allegations, Harvey Weinstein lined the pockets of Democrats to the tune of $750,000, said the RNC. If Democrats in the DNC truly stand up for women like they say they do, then returning this dirty money should be a no-brainer, RNC Chairwoman Ronna McDaniel said in a statement. GOP-aligned America Rising PAC also called on Democrats to return or donate the donations from Weinstein. Weinstein was a prominent Democratic donor, giving money to both former President Barack Obama and the party's 2016 nominee Hillary Clinton. He primarily donated to Democrats, according to data from the Center for Responsive Politics. I'll have to look at that link. The Daily Beast first reported Leahy would donate funds contributed by Weinstein. This is from this GOP-affiliated PAC, America Rising PAC. They said, their executive director said, if the Democratic Party purports itself to be the champion of women, they ought to lead by example in returning or donating the donations received from Harvey Weinstein. The group noted donations to major politicians like Senators Elizabeth Warren, Chuck Schumer, Martin Heinrich, and Kirsten Gillibrand. Weinstein also donated almost $100,000 to the DNC and $21,200 to the DCCC, according to America Rising PAC. Weinstein's the co-chairman of the Weinstein Company, a major motion picture company that has made major hits, including Silver Linings Playbook, Good Will Hunting, and The King's Speech. He also was one of the founders of Miramax. Thank you, by the way, so much to Jeff Henderson, gave $10, said, keep up the great work, RSBN. Thank you. Thank you, Jeff. So, and I want to, it's interesting. I will say this. I think a lot of us remember, those of us who follow the news, when the Bill O'Reilly allegations came out, and there was a lot of big press about that. And interested in seeing what kind of press we see, tonight and tomorrow about this Harvey Weinstein accusation. I have noticed, though, there definitely have been people who are certainly not Republican media criticizing Harvey Weinstein over this. So let me show you this one I noticed. If I can find it, I'll show it to you. Hang on a second. Let me find it for you. It would be easy to find, but he posts so much. I'm showing you a post by Chris Hayes of MSNBC, who certainly does not lean to the right. Here it is. So this is Chris Hayes from MSNBC. He said Weinstein's attempt to rally liberals to his side by attacking the NRA is gross and absurd, and I hope people don't fall for it. That's Chris Hayes of MSNBC. Jake Tapper also tweeted about this. And he certainly is not right-leaning. Jake Tapper from CNN. He said... So Jake Tapper said, well, Jake Tapper retweeted Alex Burns from the New York Times, and Alex Burns said, curious how many entertainers who spoke out against Trump post-Access Hollywood tape will speak up about this. And Jake Tapper, he's commenting how, in Harvey Weinstein's statement, it says, well, when I first started out in the business, it was a different era, and the mores were different. The social expectations were different. And Jake Tapper tweeted, "It's weird how It's weird how. Does he mean many dad, or how many dads grew up, or my dad, or many dads? How many dads grew up in the same exact era and never sexually harassed anyone?" So certainly there are people in the press who are not right-leaning, who are criticizing Harvey Weinstein about this, but interested in seeing the coverage of this and how that is. So if you have thoughts on this, let me know. Reach out to me on Twitter at Lookner, at Lookner. You're watching Right Side Broadcasting. We're talking about this Harvey Weinstein saying he's going to take a leave after the sexual harassment allegations that came out today in the New York Times article, and also I'm guessing some of you might have some feelings about Harvey Weinstein's statement, in which he apologized today and said he was going to take a leave of absence, but then at the end of the statement he criticized the NRA and President Trump. So you can reach out to me at Lookner on Twitter, at Lookner. I'd be happy to read your comment. No matter what you think about this, as long as it's clean. And again, thank you to the moderators in the chat room so much. I see Real Frank there now, as well as JC. Thank you. And thank you, Wayne Young, for making a donation. Wayne Young donated $2 and said, "This is Sofa King awesome." Guinevere is there too. Hello, Guinevere. So, and also, again, we are viewer supported. So if you like our coverage and you want to see it continue, we do rely on your donations to stay on the air. So you can donate by going to the bottom of the YouTube chat and clicking on the $ sign at the bottom of the YouTube chat. Also, rsbn.tv/donate, rsbn.tv/donate. And don't forget, if you want to know, we come on when we're coming on the air with breaking news videos. We do it at all hours. Subscribe to us on YouTube and click the notifications bell so you get a notification when we're coming on the air with a breaking news video. And you can follow us on Facebook at Right Side Broadcasting, and on Twitter at RSB Network. All right, I want to see if anybody's written me here. D. John Hughes writes in, "Libtards make everything political, even their sexual transgression." So I think, D. John Hughes, you're referring to Harvey Weinstein's statement, the one where at the end of his apology, as we said, he released this apology today, but then in the last paragraph he said, he talks about the NRA and says, I'm going to give the NRA my full attention. I hope Wayne LaPierre will enjoy his retirement party. And then he says, "I'm making a movie about our president. Perhaps we can make it a joint retirement party." D. John Hughes also says, "After her Trump tirade, Ashley Judd has no credibility." I don't remember her specific Trump tirade. I might have to look that up later. Old Guy 1947 says, "Normal leftists switch to blame the conservatives. He is way." That might be a typo. And then it says, "I haven't given the movie industry a penny in over 5 years." That's from Old Guy 1947. Blake Shelton 1993 says, "Lisa Bloom and his mother are liars." Oh, that reminds me, I forgot. So Lisa Bloom is a lawyer working with Harvey Weinstein on this issue, and she's credited with creating the strategy that helped bring down Bill O'Reilly over the sexual harassment allegations. And I think, if I remember right, she was also the one who was with Kathy Griffin at Kathy Griffin's big press conference after she had the photo where she held up the severed head of the doll that looked like President Trump, or the mannequin. But Lisa Bloom is working with Harvey Weinstein on this, and she released a statement today. So I want to read you Lisa Bloom's statement, or at least some of it. Her statement says, Harvey Weinstein and I have had many wide-ranging conversations over the last year about rumors and allegations against him. He denies many of the allegations as patently false. Nevertheless, I've explained to him that due to the power difference between a major studio head like him and most others in the industry, whatever his motives, some of his words and behaviors can be perceived as inappropriate, even intimidating. So at least, you can see from this statement, I won't read the whole statement, but it certainly doesn't acknowledge that Harvey has done wrongdoing. It says some of his words and behaviors can be perceived as inappropriate. So now, I have no conclusive evidence as to whether these allegations are true or not. All I know is there are a lot of allegations, and that he has paid off, according to the New York Times, 8 different women at least over such allegations. And he also, another piece of evidence is that he did write an apology note today about this, so he's acknowledging some sort of wrongdoing. Anyways, this message talks about he's acknowledged mistakes. He's reading books and going to therapy. He's an old dinosaur learning new ways. He wants to reach out to any of the women who may have had issues with him in the past and talk to them in a respectful, peaceful way, with me present if that is acceptable to them. Anyways, I'm not going to read the whole statement, but there's a Lisa Bloom statement out there if you want to read it. Let me get to some more of your comments. If you'd like to write to me at Lookner on Twitter, at Lookner. Reagan Better says Ashley Judd retweeted the article about Harvey Weinstein. That's interesting. I should look up Ashley Judd on Twitter and see that. Here's Ashley Judd's Twitter. Oh, she did. So 5 hours ago, she retweeted the article about Harvey Weinstein, in which he's a prominent interview in that article. John Magoo says, just another liberal pervert. Shirley Temple said in her autobiography that Hollywood perverts came onto her after she turned 8 years old. Now, I have not read the biography. I cannot confirm that, but her autobiography. But thank you, John, for writing in. JC says, Steve, drain the swamp. Get them all and throw the book at them. No quarter. Lock me up. Who's next? I also wanted to cover maybe some of the other Twitter reaction to this story. So Lena Dunham, who certainly is not right-leaning, she says the women, I think she meant women, who chose to speak out about their experience of harassment by Harvey Weinstein deserve our awe. It's not fun or easy, it's brave. Conservative commentator Dana Lesh said, Harvey Weinstein wants to target the NRA. What, are you going to sexually harass us all too? Sit down, Burger King. Just looking for some other... Jake Tapper tweeted this out. Hollywood producer I know. Shocked it's taken so long for a Harvey Weinstein behavior expose. One of the most open secrets in Hollywood. If you have more comments on this, write to me at @Lookner. On Twitter. We'll be on for a couple more minutes here. Would love to hear what you think about this story. I'm just going over some different Twitter stuff here, seeing what else I can find that people posted about today. I think I want to see, did Lisa Bloom post something today? I thought I saw her post something about this. So Lisa Bloom said, "Here is my statement about advising Harvey Weinstein." And I think if I remember right, I read some comments and some people were angry at her. So this woman, Christy B, said, "He's only 64. You are really doing a disservice to victims of sexual assault by minimizing his responsibility, saying he's an old dinosaur." KG Vote says, denies many of the allegations, wants to be a better man, wants to confront his victims, suing the reporters. This is all textbook. So a lot of people are angry with, posted angry comments in the comments section of Lisa Bloom. A lot of women who are upset, actually. Jenny Spear said, yeah, after they get caught. Aline says, this is disappointing, Lisa. It's no secret he is producing a project of yours. This flies in the face of what you said you stand for. I mean, she did defend, or at least work with some women who had accused Bill O'Reilly of sexual harassment. Now, that doesn't mean she can't represent somebody who's been accused of sexual harassment, but some people think that's inconsistent. Stephanie Hamilton said Obama sent Malia to Harvey for an internship in January, SMH. Yeah, I do believe that I had read that Malia Obama had worked for Harvey Weinstein. He employed Malia Obama, the oldest daughter of former President Barack Obama, as an intern this year. Also, there's also a picture of him so he was to emphasize it as another piece of evidence that he was a big Democrat supporter. So Mrs. Weinstein, this is from the New York Times, Harvey Weinstein and Hillary Clinton in 2012. Mr. Weinstein held a fundraiser for Mrs. Clinton at his Manhattan home last year. So presumably during the campaign, he was holding a fundraiser for Hillary Clinton. So I'm guessing if Democrats are called on to return or donate funds from donations from Harvey Weinstein, perhaps Hillary Clinton might be one of those people called on to do that. Who knows if she will? I have no idea. Patriot of Truth writes in, it's necessary that women have the right to denounce these unjust acts. For this, it is necessary that the free media have the right to do their work. Free. And we should say again, Harvey Weinstein has never been shown in a court of law to be guilty of any of these things. There were a lot of accusations detailed in the New York Times today where people put their names to them. And also, he has paid off at least 8 women over such allegations. But just to get all the facts on the table here. And he sent out this, it's interesting. He sent out this statement today. He posted this statement, which basically says, I apologize. Let me show you this. What I'm wondering is, does this statement put him in legal jeopardy at all? He says, I came of age in the 60s and 70s. When behavior in workplaces were different, that was the culture then. I realized I need to be a better person. My way I've behaved with colleagues in the past has caused a lot of pain. So I respect all women and I regret what happened. Now, he doesn't say anything specific here, but if somebody sues him now, like say some woman comes out and sues him for sexual harassment who's never done so before, could her lawyer point to the statement and say, look, he never specifically said he did stuff wrong, but this statement shows he knows he mistreated women. Like, I wonder about that. Like, could a lawyer for somebody suing him saying, look, this is circumstantial evidence that he has a past history of harassing women because look at the statement. So I don't know. I don't know how that works. It's a legal question. Thank you, Kabuki, for posting a message about the black screens. And again, to repeat, we've been having this issue with the black screens coming on our broadcast, and YouTube actually wrote to our CEO, Joe Seals, today and said we are working on fixing the problem. We know it's a problem, so our fingers are crossed. All right, I think we're going to wrap up the stream now, but I appreciate all of you guys joining us and everybody in the chat room and the moderators, JC, Real Frank. I see some of the regulars there too. I know Guinevere was there. Light Switch, Chanel, Old Guy, a lot of the other regulars there. And we will also, of course, come back on tonight, tomorrow, whenever with breaking news, if breaking news happens. Thank you everybody thank you for the donations. We very much appreciate that because those donations are what keeps us on the air. So thank you so much for donating. If you'd like to donate, you can always go to one of our broadcasts and go to the bottom of the YouTube chat and go to the $ at the bottom of the chat and click on that little $sign, or go to rsbn.tv/donate, rsbn.tv/donate. Your donations keep us on the air. And subscribe to us on YouTube if you want to know about our future news broadcasts, and click on the notifications bell when you subscribe. Also, follow us at Right Side Broadcasting on Facebook. Hello to everybody watching on Facebook. And we love, if you like our videos, we love when you hit like on YouTube and you share them on Facebook, because we can't afford to advertise. We're too small for that. So when you like and share our videos, that really helps spread the word about Right Side Broadcasting. And you can follow us on Twitter at RSB Network. Hey, you know what? Joe Seals got verified on Twitter today. Did you guys know that? So if you want to follow the verified Joe Seals, look, it's Joe Seals, right? CEO of Right Side. See, he's verified now. He's at Joe Seals. And I am at Lookner. I post about breaking news, so if you want to hear breaking news updates, even when we're not on the air, you can follow me on Twitter at Lookner. Okay, guys, I am going to go now. And some of you are saying thanks, Real Frank, Jabbery, Stephanie, Dick Diddy, Dan the Man, Chanel, Jason Thornton is there, 321 RC Heli, and all the rest of you. Intel X6, Light Switch. So thank you guys for watching, and look forward to bringing you more news, as we always do here at Right Side Broadcasting. And we'll also keep an eye on the news coming that's still coming out about the Las Vegas situation and what's going on with the investigation into that horrible shooting. So we'll keep you updated on that. But for now, I am Steve Lookner with Right Side Broadcasting. I thank you all for joining us, and I hope you have a great night, and we will see you soon with more news at Right Side Broadcasting.